In a world full of pretense, there are moments that can't be faked. A glance, a laugh, or a simple, "I miss you," that slips out without warning. And that's exactly what happened when Jikook, Jimin, and Jungkook returned for a live broadcast that stirred the hearts of armies. Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Magic, where we dive into the most honest, most touching, and most genuine moments from two people who seem to be more than just groupmates. This time, it's not just about a "hi" and a "hey guys." It's about how a look can speak louder than words, about how laughter can hide a longing that's been held back for too long. Ready to dive into every detail of Jikook's latest live? Let's begin this journey together. In a world filled with noise and false images, there are small moments that feel undeniably real, and the latest live broadcast from Jimin and Jungkook, or Jikook, was one of them. It wasn't just two top BTS idols greeting fans. It was two souls who know each other more deeply than the words they say. It all began with a simple greeting. "Hi," said Jimin calmly, his eyes warm. "Hey guys," Jungkook responded casually, but with a small smile that said more than his words ever could. Then Jimin added, "It's been a while." Just 3 words, but enough to leave many hearts still. As if he acknowledged a distance that had grown, even though they were now sitting side by side again. And in the gentle laughter and hug that followed, the atmosphere turned deeply comforting, like two old friends finally returning to a place where everything feels right again. "Nice to see you all again," Jimin said, half joking. But anyone could see the sincerity behind that line. Not just for the audience, but for Jungkook sitting next to him. He seemed lighter that night. "I've lost weight, haven't I?" he asked, turning to Jungkook, hoping for a reaction. It wasn't about appearance, it was because he knew Jungkook always notices. And as usual, Jungkook just smiled, keeping his thoughts in the way he looked at him. Jimin then mentioned the time in Korea, noting that it was lunchtime, a perfect time to greet fans. But more than that, it felt like a subtle message. Even far from home, they were still here, for ARMY. "It's been about a week since we arrived. We've been working really hard," Jimin said with uncontainable enthusiasm. Yet one small moment caught everyone's attention, when Jungkook asked, "How are you?" Not a formal question, but one that came from a deeply personal place. And Jimin answered the same way. "How are you?" Then, without hesitation, he said, "I miss you." A simple sentence that made time seem to stop. No background music needed, no visual effects. Just two people who know each other, and a longing too genuine to be hidden. Jimin began sharing about the project they were working on. "We're all working hard on preparations. Honestly, we're fired up." His face lit up as he spoke. Then he paused, as if realizing something. Now that I think about it, this is the first time we've said that, huh? That we're working hard." "Never before," Jungkook replied, without hesitation. Then the mood shifted. Junk, usually light and easygoing, sounded firmer now. "Next spring, whatever happens, we need to release something. We can't delay anymore. We can't delay anymore." It was as if he was speaking to himself, and to Jimin. A resolve born from their closeness to music and to each other. But it didn't take long for Jungkook to lighten the mood again. "What's your concept today?" he asked teasingly with a grin. Then he got serious again. "Next spring, no matter what, something has to come out first. ARMY has waited long enough." Jimin chuckled softly, then murmured, "I'm really curious, what song will be our comeback track?" "I'm curious about the title track too," Jungkook replied. "Me too," Jimin echoed, the closeness between them flowing so naturally. Then came a small but meaningful exchange. "Put on some lip balm," Jungkook said like a casual instruction. "I'm okay," Jimin replied softly. "No," Jungkook insisted, more firmly this time. "It's dry," he continued, almost sulking. "No, it's not," Jimin laughed. "It is dry," Jungkook exclaimed, not angrily, just very attentive. And when Jimin laughed, saying, "Hard and repetitive things make me nervous," Jungkook replied, "Isn't that puppy behavior?" "Yeah," Jimin answered, laughing freely. They truly forgot that thousands of eyes were watching them. Then Jimin quietly said, "Today's our day off. We took leave." But even on their day off, their minds remained on work and on each other. "Look, I want to show you something annoying," said Jimin with a mischievous look. "Are you sure you can show it?" Jungkook asked, his tone like a personal warning. "Of course not," Jimin replied, laughing. They eventually showed a photo of Jimin taken by Jungkook, but before that, they laughed over another photo. One they didn't share publicly. A photo only they knew. A photo holding unspoken stories. "Every day, he comes into my room while I'm sleeping, records me, then leaves. Crazy, right?" Jimin exclaimed. Jungkook just smiled and sang, "I Come to You." A little song, but with a big meaning. Jimin repeated his story, still in disbelief. "I'm asleep, he comes in, stands for a bit, records, then leaves. So weird." But everyone knows, it's not weird. It's care in its most intimate form. One fan comment said, "You two are perfect together." Jungkook repeated it, didn't add any comment, but his gaze said everything. Then, in a surprising moment, Jungkook tried slipping his hand inside Jimin's shirt. "Are you trying to get in trouble?" Jimin asked while laughing, but with a hint of scolding. "It's warm in there," Jungkook replied casually. "If I get in trouble, how will you punish me?" It sounded lighthearted, but carried a subtle tension that's hard to explain. Then, when Jimin sang a line from the song, Who is my heart waiting for?" Jungkook suddenly stopped drinking, looked seriously and asked, "Who are you waiting for?" Jimin fell silent, looking slightly flustered. Jungkook laughed, but it was clear he was serious. This wasn't a random question. It was a moment that proved Jungkook was truly listening, not just to Jimin's voice, but to his heart. "Did you enjoy your time in Vietnam?" Jimin asked. "Yeah, the trip was fun," Jungkook replied. They reminisced about their visit to Da Nang, and a shop owner who called them pretty. "She probably thought you were super cute," Jungkook said with a smile. The live lasted for 2 hours, filled with laughter, warmth, and conversations no one else could replicate. But what surprised fans even more was that Jungkook went live again for another 2 hours afterward, as if he didn't want the energy they created together to fade. This wasn't just content. It was a mirror of a relationship that's complex, tender, and deeply rooted. Not everyone may understand, but for those who pay attention, everything is clear. Their intimacy isn't always expressed through love confessions, but through little gestures, genuine laughter, glances caught on camera, and everyday conversations filled with unspoken meanings. And perhaps that's what makes their connection feel so real. Not because they try to show it, but because they simply can't hide it. In those 2 hours of live, we didn't just witness two idols chatting casually. We saw two people who know each other deeper than anyone else, and maybe, without even realizing it, care for one another in the softest way imaginable. From lip balm jokes to softly sung melodies, from light hugs to an "I miss you," we were given fragments of raw intimacy. And the most heartwarming part, they forgot the world was watching. Jungkook isn't just about sweet moments. They are proof that genuine connection doesn't need grand declarations. Sometimes, one glance, one smile, or a small question like, "Who are you waiting for?" is enough to quiet the whole world. If you feel like what they have is more than friendship, you're not alone. Leave a comment, like this video, and subscribe if you want to keep exploring these unspoken but deeply felt stories with us. Because in a noisy world like this, a story like Jungkook is the breath of honesty we've all been waiting for.